While encouraging others to give, they do not follow their own advice. They will undergo poverty in future lifetimes. We reap what we sow. Our lives are not controlled by external powers. The Master said that the heavens do nothing more than punish those who are bad with the suffering they deserve, and reward those who are kind with the good fortune they have earned. Some people assume that everything is arranged by the will of heaven, but this is not so. The true cause of everything that happens to us is our thoughts and behaviour. Heaven does not have any plans for us. With true wisdom, we will clearly see the truth. To be wealthy with a good social position, or to be poor with none, all lies within us. For example, if a person has accumulated enough merits and virtues to last 100 generations, then he or she will have 100 generations of descendants. One who accumulates enough merits and virtues to last 10 generations will have 10 generations of descendants to live out that good fortune. The same applies to 3 or 2 generations. Those who have no descendants had too little merit and virtues. This talks about the destiny of having or not having children. If we have accumulated enough merits and virtues for 100 generations, then we will have 100 generations of descendants. Master Yingguang often praised Confucius, who cultivated the virtue of 100 generations. Confucius constantly thought of benefiting the country and its people, without the slightest thought of himself. He dedicated his life to education and passed on his ideals and hopes to his students. He was the greatest educator in Chinese history. There have now been over 70 generations of Confucius's descendants, and his current descendant, Mr. Kong De Cheng, is still respected by people all around the world. Not only the Chinese, but others are also courteous and respectful, warmly welcoming him upon hearing that he is the descendant of Confucius. From this, it becomes evident that by planting good seeds or causes, we reap good harvests or results. In Liao Fan's 4 lessons, we read that when we accumulate enough merits and virtues for 10 generations, we will have 10 generations of descendants to enjoy that good fortune. Throughout Chinese history, emperors tried to establish dynasties that were able to reign for many generations, such as the Qing dynasty that lasted for 10 generations. But if their ancestors had not accumulated enough merits and virtues, then it would have been impossible. Today, people do not know or believe this. They think all they need is ability, good political tactics, and knowledge. But they are wrong. Virtues accumulated by our ancestors, plus our virtuous conduct from our past lives, will result in having additional virtuous people being reborn into our families, assuring its continuation. Similarly, how many generations will a family business last? In Taiwan, there is a chain of medical stores called Universal Compassion Hall that originated in Beijing. By the accumulation of virtues and merits, it has been in business for over 100 years and has been passed down through succeeding generations. Compassionate ancestors, whose driving ambition was to save lives, founded it. Unconcerned about profits, they only wanted to make enough to live very simply. Their goal was not to enjoy a comfortable life, but to benefit society and to help those who were suffering. With this objective, they were able to found a business that has lasted over 100 years. If the descendants do not deviate from their ancestors' objectives, this chain will continue forever. They will not be like those who lack merits and virtues and find their businesses going bankrupt only after a few years. Some people may only have enough merits and virtues to last for 2 or 3 generations of descendants. The Chinese say that of the 3 serious offences of being unfilial, having no descendants is the most critical. This lack of merits and virtues results in not having any descendants. In the past, people were extremely concerned about this, but today things are very different. Many couples do not even want to have children, thinking they will be too much trouble. Also, we now have social welfare. Who takes care of the elderly? Countries do. With no need to rely on their children to provide for them when they become older, many couples have decided that they need not have children. They can retire in their 60s and collect social security every month from the government. This is possible because today's social welfare system is much better than what transpired in the past, when the elderly had to depend on their children for support. Now more governments are helping to care for the elderly. This system is more filial than many children are. However, children need to remember that the law of causality remains unchanged. Just as one stores up grain against lean years, one raises children against old age, has been a commonly held idea. In his commentary, Mr. Yo said, "Sages transcending this world consider the cultivation of ending desires and attachments, eradicating delusion to attain wisdom, and transcending the ordinary to reach sagehood to be the utmost virtue and merit. Unfortunately, this level of attainment is not understood by ordinary people." This idea of raising children against old age still exists today. Usually, when young people give rise to the compassionate heart to become monks or nuns, their family and friends try their best to stop them. Not understanding, they think that their biggest concern is not having descendants. Buddhism looks into the past, present and future, and understands the truth of life and the universe. Ordinary people see only a tiny portion of the universe. Of this portion they have only witnessed the human realm. Of this realm they only see the present. They do not see the past or the future. Therefore they are unable to perceive as clearly as Buddhas and Bodhisattvas do. When someone in a family becomes a monk or nun, it is truly the most joyous occasion, for this is an outstanding pursuit. However, monks and nuns must sincerely practice in renouncing worldly life, for if we do not achieve, we will fall into the three bad paths. In Buddhism, it is often said that an offering of 1 grain of rice is as great as Mount Sumeru, and not transcending the cycle of birth and death in this lifetime, consigns monks and nuns to repay the debt as an animal in the next or following lives. As Pure Land practitioners, we have to achieve a certain level of attainment and to transcend samsara, to be reborn into the Western Pure Land. Theravada practitioners need to reach, at the least, the level of stream enterer, which is achieved by severing various wrong views. It is the lowest of the 4 stages of sagehood in Theravada Buddhism. At this point of attainment, practitioners will continue to be reborn into the heaven and hell and human realms for 7 more times. In this way, they are assured of attaining the state of Arhat, although it may take them a long time to do so. But by not falling into the 3 bad realms, they are considered to have achieved attainment. According to this criterion, the minimum standard to achieve attainment in Mahayana Buddhism is to rid ourselves of a portion of our attachments, to sever the 88 kinds of deviated thoughts and views. If we cannot sever these, we have not yet achieved attainment. Mahayana practitioners, who successfully sever them, reach the initial belief stage. Theravada practitioners, who sever various wrong views, reach the stage of stream enterer.